Hello everyone. The big update is probably live by the time this video goes up, and we got 3 new SSR dolls arriving with the update. I have already discussed Springfield before, feel free to check that video out after this one if you want to, link in description as well. But in this one we will be discussing Peri, the newest addition to Barncom. Is she good? Do you need to have her? I'm not so sure. Especially because we have Springfield banner on right now and Chuha coming right after, which are definitely more priority over her. But we'll look into her importance and role in your team, how many dupes and weapons are optimal for pulling if you want to, and go over her kit, team synergy and build to learn more and determine if it's worth investing in her. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Peri is a Barn Bulwark character, so she is a tank basically. We haven't had a limited tank unit added to the game yet, right? So she is the first one and they are not a lot in numbers. The GFL2 meta right now doesn't really favor tanks yet, it's all DPS, sub DPS and support. But Peri is not that bad, although she is pretty much exclusive to Barncom, but in there she can be quite useful. Being a tank in the very traditional sense, she has a shield with taunt, huge damage reduction, and she is the best support attacks enabler for her teammates with high frequency attacks. And we know how much the Barncom relies on support attacks. But besides that, her kit kinda falls apart and becomes a bit awkward. She has self damage and self heal reduction as well, which might be hard to navigate around if you are not playing her with the proper team setup. She kinda also depends on Vector in her team to have a decent damage output, which shouldn't really be an issue cause if you are playing a Barn comp without Vector, I don't know what to say. But the biggest reason of her downfall is Sakri. Yes, Sakri and Peri usually fights for the same spot in the Barn comp. If you don't know, the full Barn comp is QJ plus Vector of course, and then it will be Chuha as the hyper DPS as he is coming next. The sustain support is Centaroisi or Senia if you are poor, and the last spot is between Sakri or Peri. The issue is we are getting Sakri's expansion key right now with Peri's launch, so we have the full Sakri kit available to us and she is way more useful as a pure secondary DPS in the team. CN got Sakri expansion key much later after Peri's release, and between that time period both Peri and Sakri were viable and a lot of people preferred Peri over Sakri. But with her expansion key equipped, Sakri no more does any physical attacks and it's all burn damage. So with that in mind, and since Chuha is coming next to complete the burn comp, does it really make sense to pull for Peri right now? Does she really solve any problem in the burn comp that makes her necessary? I don't think so. You are much better off building your Sakri. So if you are a F2P or low spender, unless you are a huge Peri fan, it's highly recommended to skip Peri right now. You should better invest your pulls on Springfield this time and save for Chuha if you are after the Barn team. If you really want to, you can just pull for V0 and have her in the collection since I do like her design aesthetics a lot and you might as well. As for her weapons, she is an SMG, but there is no need to get her signature. There's no special skills attached to it that upgrades your team potential or favors any other characters. It's all personal damage buff, so the free SSR Swarog will be just fine on her. That's about what the TLDR is for her and her pull value in short. Now let's quickly go over her skills to see how her kit works. We are gonna look at the skills in a different order than usual for better understanding. Starting with her ult. It gives her 3 things for 3 turns. Firstly, it gives 2 buffs, Bargain and Capital Protection. Bargain gives a 30% damage buff and improves crit rate of her normal attacks by 100%. Capital Protection is the tank buff. This is considered a shield as it can absorb up to 50% of Peri's max HP as damage. It reduces her stability damage taken and at the end of action taunts all enemies in a 2-tile radius of her for 2 turns. But the last thing the ult gives is 6 stacks of hot investment. This is the core mechanic of Peri's kit. Every stack reduces her damage received by 10%, so up to 60% damage reduction, and also reduces her healing received by 10% as well. The thing is, 6 is the max it can stack up to, and at the start of Peri's action the number is half. It does round up to a full number if needed. We quickly look at the passive now to understand more how it works. Her ult does require all 6 energy, so her passive gives back 1 energy at the end of action and she gets 1 more energy back per turn if allies do burn type support attack, which is easy. Now the good part. We learned about the hot investment stacks before. After Peri's skill usage, for every 3 stacks of hot investments she has, she can do her normal attack once. So with 6 stacks she can do 2 normal attacks after her skill. But normal attacks are usually bad and do physical damage, right? Her passive upgrades her normal attack to do burn damage equal to 12% of her max HP per hot investment stack she has, so up to 72% of her max HP as burn damage. This is her main source of damage output, and this is why you always wanna maintain like 5-6 stacks of hot investment every turn. So you can do more normal attacks every time, and the normal attacks enable your teammates support attack as well. This is her core mechanic. Her skill 2 does AoE burn damage and puts overburn to the enemies, but most importantly it consumes 40% of her max HP and gives her 3 stacks of hot investments. This is important because at the start of her action hot investment stacks are half. So if you started with 6 from ult, then next turn it becomes 3 and then skill 2 gives 3 back. We are at 6 again and we can now do 2 upgraded normal attacks again. You see how cycling this hot investment stacks is the playstyle of Peri. And finally her skill 1 is a single target burn damage, but it consumes 30% of her max HP and gives her 2 hot investment stack. This is the only awkward one as you will get up to 5 stacks this turn and will probably not be able to do 2 normal attacks. That's all for our kit overview, and now on to her Vertebrae levels. I have already mentioned that V0 is all you need if you wanted to pull for her anyway, but just to go over her best breakpoints, the best dupe breakpoint is at V1. It reduces the number of hot investment stacks required to trigger your normal attacks after a skill from 3 to 2. So now you do 1 more normal attack after every skill usage. This is a really good upgrade for our damage output. Honestly, there's no other really outstanding Vertebrae levels worth targeting for that makes significant impact. If you are whaling, just go for V6 max dupes. She becomes more tanky, more damage, yada yada. Anyone V6 is good. Moving on to her weapon choices, her signature weapon Amanita is of course tailor made for her. It boosts her personal damage a lot, especially because her main source of damage is from her normal attacks, which is what it buffs. But you really don't need to pull for it specifically. It's better to rather use either the Battle Pass SMG or the pre-SSR Swarog, both of which will do just fine on her and improve her damage output anyway. No need for an SR alternative when you already get a pre-SSR SMG. Okay, on to her build. The weapon attachment set choice is the Burn Boost set or the Phase Strike set, whichever you have better pieces for. Both will work well. The substats priority is HP percentage, then flat HP, then attack percentage followed by crit damage percentage. Because her damage scales on HP and she will already get full crit on a normal attack anyway, so you don't need crit rate in your pieces. You wanna get 2200 plus attacks, 5.8k HP and about 130% crit damage for an endgame full build. Her best in slot fixed keys are Basis of Trade to give her energy at the start to ult for, Cool and Reliable to make her more tanky, and Social Engineering to boost her burn damage. As for the common keys besides her own, C is not the priority. Make sure your main DPS, support etc. priority units are properly kitted first, and then you can put Misty's common key or any attack percentage and HP percentage keys on her. Her skill rotations are really straightforward. This is how it is. As you can see, the main target is to do as many basic attacks as possible each turn. So you can just follow this order to maximize that. In P1 you will be able to do 1 more basic attacks per turn, everything else remains the same. As for a team synergy, she is definitely tied to be in the burn comp. So we got QJ, Vector and Centaurisi. We will be getting Chihuahua soon to fulfill the team, but remember with Chihuahua as a full team, usually Sakri is preferred over Peri. But we don't have her right now, so I guess they can also work together in the meantime. It's not very well advised to make Peri work outside the burn comp, her usefulness diminishes a lot and so I won't be suggesting that. Okay, that's pretty much everything you need to know about her details, and it brings us to the final recommendation. In my opinion, if you are building your burn team, we got a better alternative in Sakri for the team, who's an SR, easier to build and is much better to play. And Peri's banner is also sandwiched between 2 very good banners, Springfield and Chihuahua. So my primary suggestion for anyone, F2P or not, is to skip her for now. If you are really into getting her, just get a copy at V0 and you are all good. She will be able to serve the purpose of being the frontline tank there without any problem. For some reason, if you really want to make her useful in the burn comp instead of Sakri, you gotta get her V1 then to amp her damage output and make her worthwhile the investment. You don't need a signature weapon in any stages, Swarog does the job. You should probably be V6ing her before and then think about getting her signature weapon if you are whaling. There you go, that concludes our review of Peri. Let me know in the comments if you are going to pull for her and why. Be sure to check out my Springfield video as I mentioned in the beginning, and I'll be dropping a Fae video soon as well. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, feel free to drop a like and subscribe. And if you directly want to show your support, you have the option to join the channel membership or send a super thanks. Those will always be super appreciated. Thanks for watching, stay tuned for more Girls Frontline 2 content and I'll catch you then. Goodbye.